So remember how I said that the videos were usually going to be a little less than a minute? I lied. So I'm going to talk about a bit with pitch today, and this is going to be the last informative video before I actually talk about dedicated exercises for you to do. So this is simply going to be about how high and low you're going to go with your voice. If you don't know the terms head voice, chest voice, and falsetto, I made a video on that. I would recommend watching that first because that's going to come up a bit in here. And also I want to emphasize that I'm going to talk about male and female range, but that's mostly going to mean how people socially are going to interpret the pitch of your voice, not you must be within this range to be male and this range to be female. People can have whatever pitch voice that they want. It's just easier to use those terms because we're talking about how people recognize those voices socially. Generally speaking, male and female voice ranges overlap a little. I'm going to post a chart below this that's going to show exactly what I'm showing because I have a keyboard right here with me that I'm going to be using to show the tones. I'll make a chart for the people that aren't super musically inclined to be able to tell what notes I'm hitting so that you can practice. So generally speaking, male voices at their upper range before going into gender neutral territory is going to be at the C below middle C, which is right here. So that'd be right around here for normal talking. And then the lower range for female voices before going into gender neutral is the A below middle C. So right around here. And you might notice I kind of sometimes talk a little lower than that. That's just a matter of preference. I'm not super big on going for a really high voice. That is completely up to you what you want to do. Going gender neutral in the range from that C to A is totally fine because pitch isn't the only thing that people use when they socially decide someone's gender when they're talking to them. There's also mannerisms. Like I said, after I talk about the exercises, I'm going to talk about some of the mannerisms that people typically associate with women. So when you are picking a pitch to practice, it's especially good simply to find something you're comfortable with, think where do you want your voice to be roughly, and then you don't want to start practicing at that pitch, but actually you want to practice a little bit above. So for instance, if I wanted to do it at the D above middle C right there, I would actually want to practice using a note that's at least 2 notes higher than that. So instead of practicing right there, I would practice at the F above middle C. That's just because when you talk, you're going to want to do a lot of inflections when you talk. You're going to want to go up in your pitch, you're going to want to go down in your pitch when you're talking, and you want to avoid that sort of monotone voice. So it's good to practice higher because it's easier to go down in pitch than it is to practice going even higher in pitch. Generally speaking, you want to, if you are going for a typically female voice, you want to avoid having your inflection go below that C below middle C range right there, just because that's when people start kind of questioning things or they start wondering about your voice. But again, this is all up to you. I'm just discussing what people are socially going to think about. So again, I'll post a chart with these 2 notes that are the male to female gender neutral range. Find something you're comfortable with and start practicing because I'm going to start giving you exercises soon.